Hello, today for this project I am using my H hook or 5mm, and I have a collection of yarn because this is another stash busting project here. So I've got this pile going on here, and we'll see if we're going to use all of it, or I'm not sure. We're gonna see how it all plays out. So I'm making this square to go with the other square that I made, and I'll have that linked below. And I'm thinking I'm going to connect them together to make a nice blanket. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, so to start this project, we're going to get our slip knot on there, and we are going to chain 2. And from our second chain from our hook, we're going to work 8 single crochet. And squares are nice to help use up bits of yarn. And I have quite a bit of that. Alright, so I have my 8 single crochet, and I'm going to join in my first stitch. Just like that. Tighten up my hole. An easy way is you just pull on your tail and there it disappears. Alright, so to start for round 2, we're going to chain 3. So we have our chain 3, and we're going to work a double crochet right in that same stitch. And we're going to chain 2. So our chain 3 counts as a stitch, and now we're going to work 2 double crochet in the next stitch. And I'm going to chain 2 again, and I'm going to continue to work 2 double crochet and chain 2 all the way around for round 2. Okay, so I have finished up round 2, and I've got my next color on standby here. I'm just holding it. And we need to join on top of our first chain 3 with a slip stitch. So I'm going to do that. And I am going to get ready to use this color. I will show you what we're going to do next. So after round 2, you will have a total of 16 double crochet, because our chain 3 counts as a stitch. And you will have 8 chain 2 spaces. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch still with my mint green color here, or it might look more white, but it's actually a mint green, in the next double crochet, and I'm going to get ready to change colors. So I'm starting my slip stitch around my chain 2. I'm going to grab my other color that I want to use, and I'm just going to finish that off. So we are going to have this guy, looks like it's kind of just hanging loose, but we can secure it when we work our first stitch for round 3. So just hang tight there, and also when you weave in your ends you can also cinch that guy up. So what we're going to do for round 3 is we're ready to go working in our chain 2 space. We're going to chain 1. And we're going to work a little puff stitch in this chain 2 space. So I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop like that. Now I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to try to secure that guy. So I'm going to go under that. We're going to pull up a loop, and now, so we have 4 loops on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over, pull through all 4, just like that. And I took care of this guy here. So now we are going to chain 3, and I am going to do the same puff stitch again. So I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, right back in there. So now I have 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. So we have made, this is going to be a corner. So now we are going to work in the next chain 2 space. In the next chain 2 space, we're going to work 3 half double crochet. So there's 1, 2, and 3, just like that. Now we're going to work another corner stitch. I keep wanting to yarn over. We're not yarning over. So we're going to do a repeat of this. We're going to go right back in that corner or that chain 2 space to make our next corner. Let's pull up our loop. Now we're going to yarn over. Go right back in. We have our 4 loops. Pull through all 3 or all 4 of those loops, and now we're going to chain 3 to create the next corner, and we'll do the same thing. Make that same stitch again. And now we're going to work 3 half double crochet in that chain 2 space. So you will want to repeat that all the way around. You're going to work the corner stitch, then the 3 half double crochet, the corner stitch, and then the final 3 half double crochet, and then you will join in the first stitch. So I'm going to continue doing that, and I will meet you back at the end of round 3. Alright, so I have finished up round 3. So after round 3 you will have 12 half double crochet and then your 4 corner stitches. And I've got my next color, mint green again, on standby. So I'm going to join in my first stitch right on top of this little puff stitch here with my blue that I have. It looks kind of, I guess, like a purpley almost in the camera, but it is blue. Not that that really matters. And now we're going to get ready to start the next color in the next. Now you can keep doing this in the same color. So we are going to work a slip stitch around this chain 2 space here. So I'm getting my next color ready to go. I'm just trying to use up yarn. I've got lots of different little bits of color here and there. And actually I love color, so I love trying to incorporate as much color as I can in some projects. It doesn't work for all projects, but some projects, if I can do it, I'm going to. All right, so now we're ready to start round 4. So for round 4, we're going to chain 3, and we're going to work in that corner space right here. So I'm trying to control some of my ends here. The only bad thing with working with a lot of color is you've got ends to weave in, but small price to pay for a really nice looking project. So we are going to work a double crochet right in the same stitch here. So I'm going to try to wrap around those ends there to kind of control them. Oops, I didn't do my yarn over. Whoops. Yarn over first. There we go. Get it together. Okay, so I have now worked 2 double crochet and kind of got these guys in control a little bit. Now we're going to chain 3 and work 2 double crochet right back in this same stitch, right in our previous chain 3, and we are creating another corner. We want it to be, I guess, like a square. I guess it's probably more like a rectangle, but you know what I mean. It's got 4 corners. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to chain 2, and we're going to work in the center half double crochet right here. So we're going to skip this stitch and that stitch, and we're going to work like a little bubble stitch. I think it's actually might be called bubble stitch. I'm not sure, but I'm terrible with stitch names. I can do them. I don't know. It's same with songs. I can sing along to a song. I have no idea what it's called. Same thing with stitches. I can look at it and be like, oh, I can make that, but I don't know what it's called. Anyway, so we're going to yarn over. We're going to skip these 2 guys. We're going to call it a bubble stitch. Just if I'm wrong, I apologize. Let me know. Insert your hook. So we've yarned over. Insert your hook in the middle, the center half double crochet. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to continue to do that until we have 4 loops on our hook. So we have 3. So now we have 4. So we're going to yarn over, pull through all 4. So she looks kind of bubbly there. So yeah, bubble stitch it is. Alright, so we're going to chain 2. And now we're going to go work in our center stitch again. Or I mean our corner stitch, not center stitch. So we're going to work in our chain 3 space, which is our corner. So we're going to work 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet. So chain 3 and 2 double crochet. So then after that we're going to chain 2 and work another bubble stitch in the center half double crochet. So skip the next 2 and then your middle half double crochet, do your yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then repeat until you have 4 loops on your hook. And then we'll pull through all 4, just like that, and then chain 2, and we're going to be back to our corner stitch, working the 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet, then you'll chain 2, work your bubble stitch in the center half double crochet, chain 2, and then just continue around until you reach the end of round 4. So I will meet you back at the end of round 4. Okay, so we are almost done round 4, and I'm going to join on top of my chain 3. Looks like she got a little twisted, but that's okay. There we go, we'll find the top. And I've got my next color on standby again. So we've joined with a slip stitch. I'm going to slip stitch in the next double crochet. And then I'm going to get ready to change back to blue. I hope I have enough. I'm almost out of this. So we're going to see. We're going to give it a shot and hope for the best. Okay, so now we're ready to start round 5. So what we're going to do is chain 3 and work a double crochet right back in that chain 3 space. And we're going to chain 3 again and work 2 double crochet right in that chain 3 space. So we've completed another corner. So now we are going to chain 2 and work a bubble stitch right in this chain 2 space here. So we did our yarn over, insert our hook, pull up our loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So we have 2 loops, and we're going to keep doing this step until we have 4 loops on our hook. And now we're going to pull through all 4 of those loops. Now we're going to work a single crochet right on top of our previous bubble stitch. So we've worked a single crochet. Now we're going to go and work a bubble stitch right in that next chain 2 space. So I've got 4 loops, pull through all 4 of those loops. Now I'm going to chain 2 and I'm back to my corner. We'll work double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet. So we've got 2 corners down. Alright, so we are going to continue that for the rest of round 5. So you will work your chain 2, work your bubble stitch right in the next chain 2 space. And we'll work a single crochet right on top of that. previous bubble stitch. Oops, didn't get in both loops there. There we go. So single crochet on top of our previous bubble stitch, and we're working a bubble stitch in the next chain 2 space. And we'll pull through all 4 and chain 2. And then we are back for our next corner. So just continue that for the rest of round 5. Okay, so I have finished up round 5, so I'm going to join on top of my first chain 3 there. And I think I might have enough yarn to do another round, so we're going to stick with this blue. So I'm going to slip stitch in the next double crochet and then slip stitch in my chain 3 space. So for round 6 we're going to chain 3 again and work a double crochet right in that same space and work a chain 3. And then work 2 double crochet right back in that same chain 3 space. So now we are going to chain 2 again and work 2 double crochet in this next chain 2 space. So now we've come to our bubble stitch. We're going to work 1 double crochet on top of that bubble stitch, and now we're to our single crochet, and we're going to work 2 double crochet in that single crochet stitch. And we are at our next bubble stitch, so work a double crochet right on top of that guy, and now we're going to work 2 double crochet in the next chain 2 space. So this is a pretty easy round, just straightforward double crochet, chain 2 stitches. We've got a little bit of a yarn situation. Okay, I think I've got my yarn situation slightly under control, not completely, but good enough for now. So keeping it real. Alright, so we're back to our corner. We worked our chain 2. Now we're going to work 2 double crochet, chain 3, and 2 double crochet. So now we are going to chain 2 again, and you're going to work 2 double crochet in the next chain 2 space. We will work 1 double crochet on top of our bubble stitch and work 2 double crochet in the single crochet. Work 1 double crochet on top of our bubble stitch, and like I said, slightly under control. That's the problem with we have just yarn scraps. It starts out all nice and wonderful and it's pulling out of the skein so beautifully, and then it just turns into a nightmare. I just don't know why it does that. Or maybe it only does it for me. Alright, so we're going to fix this and we'll get back to it. Okay, so I've got my yarn straightened out once again. Sorry, the struggle is really real sometimes. Alright, so I've worked a double crochet on top of my bubble stitch. Now I'm going to work 2 double crochet on top of, or in my chain 2 space. And then we will chain 2 and be back to our corner. So to finish up this round, you'll work your 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet in the corner, then you will chain 2. So you'll chain 2, work 2 double crochet here, 1 double crochet in the bubble, 2 double crochet in the single crochet, 1 double crochet in the bubble, 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space, and then back to the chain 2, and then just finish up that round for round 6. So I will meet you back at the end of round 6. Okay, so I have finished round 6, finally, that crazy yarn. So after end of round 6, you will have 32 double crochet here, And then you're going to have your 4 corner spaces, so 4 chain 3 spaces. And then you will have 8 chain 2 spaces at the end of round 6. So now we're going to get ready for round 7. So I want to change colors because I'm not going to have enough yarn for round 7. So slip stitch in the next double crochet and then get ready to slip stitch around this chain 3 space. So I've got my next color. And we're going to pull through like that, and we will tuck that around once we start stitching. So for round 7, you are going to chain 1, and we're going to work a little puff stitch again in this chain 3 space. So we're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, go back in, pull up a loop, so you have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, and got those ends tucked away. So we're going to chain 3 and work another puff stitch right in there. So let me just start that over again. I'm getting ahead. So you're going to pull up your loop, yarn over, pull up another loop, 4 loops, then yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. So now we've created 2 puff stitches and a chain 3. So what you're going to do is you're going to skip the next double crochet, and we're going to work a single crochet in the next double crochet. And you're going to work a single crochet in the next chain 2 space, and then 1 single crochet in each of the double crochet. So another pretty easy round. This is a pretty easy square, just basic stitches, kind of mixing it up a little bit. I like stitches like that. I like things that look pretty but aren't too complicated. So now we're back to our chain 2 space. We're going to work 1 single crochet, then single crochet in the next double crochet, and we'll skip the next one, and we're going to work our 2 puff stitches, chain 3 in our next chain 3 space to make our corner. So we'll skip the next double crochet and work a single crochet in the next one. So you're going to continue that all the way around. So very simple round, work 1 single crochet in each of the chain 2 spaces, 1 single crochet in each double crochet. You're going to single crochet here, skip this double crochet, work your puff stitch, chain 3, puff stitch, and then you'll skip that guy, single crochet, and then just continue around for round 7. And I will meet you back at the end of round 7. Okay, so I'm finishing up round 7. So I need to work a double crochet. So right on top of this chain 3, we need to work a double crochet. And now I'm ready to join in my first stitch right here. And at the end of round 7, you will have a total of 48 single crochet. And then you're going to have your corner stitches here, your 3 chain 3 spaces, or your 4 chain 3 spaces, not 3. All right, so now we're ready to start round 8. So I'm going to slip stitch. I'm going to keep with this color in the next chain 3 space. Going to chain 1, and I'm going to work a single crochet right in that same space. So after we've worked our single crochet, we are going to work a bubble stitch in here. So if you remember from this round here and this round, we were working the bubble stitches, so we're going to work a bubble stitch in here. So you'll yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and keep doing that until you have 4 loops on your hook. So now we yarn over, pull through all 4. So we're just going to slide her over. It's going to get a little crowded, but it'll be okay. You're going to work a single crochet right in that around that chain 3 space. We're going to work another bubble stitch right in the same. Whoops, yarn is splitting. Stop that. There we go. Same chain 3 space. So we're working our bubble stitch. We're going to yarn over, pull through all 4 of those loops. So in the same stitch, it gets a little crowded, but you just make some room. We're going to work a single crochet. So in that entire chain 3 space, you have your single crochet, bubble stitch, single crochet, bubble stitch. Alright, so in our next stitch we are working a bubble stitch. So we're actually on top of this puff stitch right here. You're going to work a bubble stitch. So I'm going to yarn over, pull through all 4. So then in my next stitch I am working a single crochet, and then the next stitch we are working a bubble stitch. And then next stitch, work a single crochet, and we're working a bubble stitch in the next one. So you guessed it, single crochet again. And our bubble stitch. So single crochet and bubble stitch in the next, so alternating single crochet, bubble stitch, single crochet. Up in another yarn tangle. I guess that's just what's going on with this project. That untangled a little easier than the last one. Alright, so we're going back to single crochet and bubble stitch. So now we are back to our single crochet and our bubble stitch. And then we'll single crochet in this puff stitch right here. Okay, so in the next chain 3 space, we are going to work a bubble stitch, and then a single crochet, and a bubble stitch, and then a single crochet in that same space. So this chain 3 space, it's bubble stitch, single crochet, bubble stitch. The first one was a little bit different, but you're not going to notice it once the pattern is all finished. So this next stitch here, we're going to work a bubble stitch. And you're going to continue to do that bubble stitch, single crochet, bubble stitch till you reach the next corner. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, that worked out well. Goodness gracious. So yeah, we're going to work a bubble stitch and then a single crochet in the next one and keep doing that for this side. There we go. And now we are working our single crochet. So I will meet you back to the next corner. Okay, so I am almost to the corner. So I've worked a bubble stitch here. So I'm at this little puff stitch. We're going to work a single crochet in there. And then for our corner, we're going to work bubble stitch, single crochet, bubble stitch, single crochet. Then you'll work a bubble stitch here and single crochet, bubble stitch, single crochet all the way around to the next corner. So how you do this corner is how you're going to do that corner. And then keep going till you get to the end here, and then you will join in your first stitch. So I will meet you back at the end of this round. Alright, so I'm almost done round 8, so here we are. So I'm at this single crochet right here, and I'm going to work one more puff stitch, and we're going to skip the last stitch. We want to have a total of 72 stitches all the way around, and we started with a single crochet here. So don't worry about skipping the last. Actually, it might be 2 stitches, but because they're so bunched together, that it is quite all right and you won't even notice it. So I've completed the last puff stitch, and now we're going to join on top of this chain or single crochet right here. So you will have a total of 72. So see, when you can't even tell that we skipped. So 72 stitches, it's important. So after round 8, you will have a total of 72 stitches. So we're going to get ready for round 9. So for round 9, we are going to slip stitch till we get to the single crochet, which is going to be right here in the middle of this corner here. And then I am going to switch to another color. So right now. So now we're working in that single crochet, which is in the corner there. So we are going to chain 3 and work a puff stitch, but because we've already started with the chain 3, this is how you will do it. So you chain 3, insert your hook in there, yarn over, pull through 2, insert your hook, the same spot again, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 3 loops. So after 3 loops, you're going to yarn over, and it will complete the so that's the beginning puff stitch. So now we're going to chain 3, and we are going to work a puff stitch right in that same space. So we have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through all 4 of those loops. So we've created a corner there with our puff stitches. So after we've created our corner, we are going to single crochet. So you can see right there on top of that puff stitch. I know the yarn is darker, but we're going to single crochet on top and then work a puff stitch in the next stitch. So if you're having trouble seeing, so you're actually going to work a puff stitch in the single crochet. So you'll work single crochets on top of the puff stitches, and then a puff stitch, or actually this is a bubble stitches, I'm sorry. So the bubble stitches are going to go on top of the single crochet, and the single crochet are going to go on top of the bubble stitches. So let's get it right. We got puff stitches, bubble stitches, it's just, you know, all kinds of stuff going on. All right, so we're going to yarn over, working in the single crochet. That yarn is super splitty, but that's okay. It'll be all right since it's a bubbly stitch. See, you can't even tell. Alright, so we're going to single crochet on top of this bubble, and we are going to keep going and work our bubble stitch on top of our single crochet. So single crochet on top of the bubble, so I'm going to keep doing this until I get to the next corner, and then I will meet you back. Okay, so I'm almost to the corner here. So now we are going to work, we've worked a puff stitch there, and we're going to work a single crochet in there. So now we're at this single crochet, which is in the corner here. So now we're going to work our puff stitch, chain 3, puff stitch to create another corner. So there's the puff stitch, chain 3, and then puff stitch, or bubble stitch. I'm doing it again, bubble stitch. Goodness gracious, these are bubble stitches. Little guys are the puff stitches. All right, so this, we did bubble stitch, chain 3, bubble stitch. So you're going to continue around working a single crochet on top of your bubble, and then your bubble on top of your single crochet until you get to your corner. And then in that middle single crochet here in the corner, you're going to work your bubble stitch, chain 3, bubble stitch all the way around. So I'm almost to the end of round 9, so we need to work 2 more stitches. So we'll have a total of 76. So we're going to work a bubble stitch right here, and this stitch right there. So there's our bubble stitch, and then on top of this stitch here, we're working a single crochet. And now we're ready to join in our first bubble stitch of round 9, and you will have a total of 76 stitches, including these guys here, and then you'll have the 4 chain 3 spaces. So we'll get ready for round 10, which is okay. So I'm ready to start round 10, my final round. So we are going to slip stitch around the chain 3 space, and I want to switch back to this color, and I think I can carry it. I don't think it's going to show, so we're going to give it a shot. That's why I didn't cut that one. Some of them you can't carry because it will show through, but I think this one will be all right. So we are going to chain 3 and work 3 bubble stitches. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. So we're going to chain 3. We're going to work a beginning bubble stitch. So chain 3, yarn over, right in that chain 3 space. So we have the 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 3 because that's the beginning bubble stitch. So now we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to work a bubble stitch right back in that same spot until we have 4 loops on our hook. So there's our 4 loops. Yarn over, chain 1. So we worked our chain 1. We're going to work 1 more bubble stitch right in that chain 3 space. And we're going to yarn over all 4 of those loops. So we've made our corner here. So now we are going to skip this bubble stitch and work a bubble stitch right in that single crochet in the next one right there. It's a lot easier to see with this light blue yarn than the dark yarn, but the dark yarn looks pretty. So hopefully you can follow along pretty well. I apologize if you can't. So I'm working a bubble stitch in my next single crochet, so we're going to continue to work bubble stitches on top of our single crochet and single crochet on top of the bubble stitch. Where are you? There you are, until we get to our next corner. So I will meet you back. Alright, so I have worked across to this next corner. So here is my single crochet. I've worked a bubble stitch. We are going to skip this bubble stitch here, and we're going to work right in this chain 3 space, working our bubble stitch, chain 1, bubble stitch, chain 1, bubble stitch. So 3 bubble stitches and 2 chain 1s to form this corner. So there's our first bubble stitch. Here's our second one. So here's our chain 1, and then here's our third bubble stitch. And then you're going to skip the next bubble stitch and work a bubble stitch in the next single crochet, and then continue. So you're going to repeat this all the way around. So we're going to skip this guy. We're going to work a bubble stitch right here. And we're working a single crochet on top of this bubble stitch. So you're going to repeat that around. So you'll come down to here. So this single crochet, you're working a bubble stitch. You're going to skip this one. You'll work your 3 bubble stitches and your 2 chain 1s. And then skip this guy, and then bubble stitch here, and then continue all the way around for round 10. Alright, so I'm almost done round 10. So there's my last single crochet there, and I'm going to work on top of this one, my last bubble stitch. And at the end of round 10, you will have a total of 80 stitches, which is the same amount of the other square that the previous one. So we're going to join on top of this bubble stitch to complete round 10. And then you can cut your yarn. Yeah, I wanted it to be the same amount so that I was thinking of stitching them together instead of all the same square, kind of making a scrap blanket, and we'll see how it looks. So that is the completed square. So what you're going to want to do is obviously weave in your ends, but these bubble stitches, some of them you just might need to, you know, puff out and, you know, give this a light block. But I hope you enjoyed this project, and I thank you so much for watching.